Thank you everybody and good evening. Eventjes voor de Nederlanders onder ons. Ik ga vanavond in het Engels presenteren. Want wij zijn ook live op YouTube op onze livestream. Dus mogen jullie dringende Nederlandse vragen hebben, kom maar gerust naar mij toe in de bar, in de pauze en daarna. Want dat is natuurlijk het voordeel van hier in het echt live zijn. So for those of you watching on the stream thinking, what was I just saying? I was congratulating the lovely live audience for being here live. They can come and talk to me in Dutch in the interval. But just to include everyone, I'll be chatting to you in English. So this evening is the presentation of My Favorite Melodies 2 for alto recorder. Was anybody actually here for like My Favorite Melodies 1? Oh, I see some hands. Fantastic. Great. So I have been having a wonderful partnership with the publishing house Schott Music in Germany. So let's give them a round of applause. We got to know each other through my YouTube channel, Team Recorder, where I talk about all things to do with the recorder, with Blokfluit. And a few years ago, they asked me, would I like to work with them on a book? Of course, I said yes. And I said, well, what would you like? What should we do? And they said, well, what about just your favorite melodies? And this became My Favorite Melodies. So tonight I'm going to play the whole book for you. So for those of you watching at home, if you have the book, you can actually play along. For those of you in the hall, if you really want to play along, I actually won't stop you. I think that could be fun. Tonight we have 14 pieces from folk music, from jazz, from the medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, classical pieces of today. There are some big hitters, some big top 10 classical numbers that you'll be like, oh, there will be some things you will have never heard before because I like to introduce audiences to new pieces, new composers, but they are all absolutely wonderful melodies. The first one you heard was Off to California, together with this incredible guitarist, Guillermo Celano. It's actually a bit different repertoire for us, isn't it, Guillermo? Because we usually play together in like a prog rock band. Yeah. So to play some folk together today is really, really nice. Off to California, I got to know this tune not as a musician, but as a dancer. I have a secret past as a Morris dancer and a clog dancer. That's a story for another day, but I grew up in the hills of Derbyshire, getting into folk music, like all teenagers. So I've been singing that tune, and for those of you Team Recorder super fans, you will know this tune from the video where I compare a $10 recorder with a $1,000 recorder. And then my husband, John, who's not a recorder player, bursts in and takes the expensive recorder and goes... So that's for the super fans. Lovely. We're going to move on now from folk music all the way into the future to the 14th century. And this is an estampie. It's also very special to me because I played it in my final exam when I was a bachelor student in England 150 years ago. And I played it with harp then, and now I've asked Guillermo to play it with me on recorder. And there is another exciting story about this, including a very large mistake, but I'm just going to tell the people here in the audience. I'll tell you that in the bar afterwards over a glass of wine. Okay. Estampie. I'll leave it there. everyone give it up for Guillermo. I would like to welcome my longtime collaborator, friend, incredible keyboardist, pianist, harpsichordist extraordinaire, Anne Veinberg. Those of you who have played along with My Favourite Melodies, either book, you have undoubtedly played along with Anne. We're going to play Anthony Holborn, The Fairy Round. I love this piece so much. It makes me so happy. When I learnt it as a student, I proclaimed excitedly to all of my friends and study colleagues, when I get married, I'm going to have this playing as we walk out of the aisle. Oh, it's going to be so happy. We actually didn't. When I did get married, and we had a piece called Le Ray au Soleil by Johannes Ciconia, which is infinitely weirder. But still, this is a very, very happy piece. It's a light dance piece, and in the book, I introduce some nice, fun variations as well. That makes me need to drink water. It's all of this talking. So tonight we are not only launching My Favourite Melodies for alto, we are launching the brand new Splendor Amsterdam harpsichord. I love this. People in the audience going, oh, yeah, prachtig. Yes, I think it needs a second round of applause. So for those of you who don't know this place and where we are, this is Splendor Amsterdam in the heart of the city. It's a venue, it's a making space, it's an artist's broodplaats, there's studios, there's the rehearsal spaces, anything is possible here. We're run by a collective of around 50 musicians, of which I am one. And tonight is also my Lederconcert, which means that the people who are members of Splendor are here for free. I'll speak more about that in a bit. But for years now, I have been saying, please, can we have a Splendor harpsichord? Please, can we get a Splendor harpsichord? That's easier said than done. But we were actually gifted this wonderful instrument, and tonight is the first night that it is performed in concert. So I have appointed myself captain of Team Early Music at Splendor, so hopefully you'll be seeing lots more of this wonderful instrument. That's so exciting. I can tell you're all very happy, so please be prepared to get sad now. We're moving on to one of the most beautiful melodies ever. Pavan Lacrimé or Flow My Tears by John Dowland. It's a really wonderful example of word painting. So this was the composer weaving the melody into the text to really bring it out. So we have flow my tears, fall from your springs, exiled forever, let me mourn. When night's blackbird her sad infamy sings, let me live forlorn. It's really, I love it so much. Many composers have worked with this material, and my version in the book is a mashup of two composers, John Dowland, who wrote the original song with voice and lutes, and the recorder variations later created by the Dutch hero Jacob van Eyck. team My Favourite Melodies, we actually have two absent members who are going to be here with us virtually. They are, on the recordings that you hear with the book, they are our wonderful early keyboardist, Robin Bigwood. So if you play along with the book, there are pieces that have harpsichord, forte piano, a kind of funny luty thing, and an organ. And they have all been recorded in England by Robin Bigwood. He's not here tonight because he's in England. And this was all recorded, mixed and mastered, many of the pieces recorded here in this hall by our incredible sound engineer, Hayden Hook. So there is a very simple way for me to bring Robin and Hayden into this room, and that is I'm going to play along with one of the book's backing tracks. This book has the sheet music for 14 pieces. It has, including the recorder and the accompaniment, but it comes with backing tracks, both with the recorder and as a play-along, so you can play with the music too. So I thought it would be nice to demonstrate this with my next piece. It's called O Vive Rose by Francesca Caccini, and it's with the organ, which I think is so special. I really wanted to also use these books to champion underrepresented composers, to get more early music by female composers. There is so much out there if you actually go and look for it a bit. So I've taken a song by Francesca Caccini and I arranged it for recorder and composed some nice variations on it as well. First going to have my water. It's very thirsty work, recorder playing. And I'm going to mentally prepare for my traverse of the stage. This could go wrong, I hope I don't fall over. Is it done on purpose? O Vive Rose by Francesca Caccini. opportunity to thank one of the collaborators and sponsors of the book, Mollenhauer, who provided some of the instruments for the recording. I was just playing on a Mollenhauer one here. On we go to a classic of the Baroque literature. You might not know it, but when you hear it, you probably will know it. This is Les Folies d'Espagne, and this was a ground bass, a bass line that all the musicians back then, they all knew, and they would improvise upon and write lots of variations. The original piece of this by Marin Marais, I think had 27 variations. Is there anyone in the hall who knows the true number? I think it's 27, and I've chosen a selection of these. It's worth mentioning that my book is aimed at the intermediate recorder player, so I want to make really excellent music accessible also for people who haven't spent 750 years studying music full time. So I made a really beautiful, in my opinion, and accessible version of this piece. Yes, I'll just organise my instruments. You might get some surprise fourth flute. Marin Marais, Les Folies d'Espagne. Oh, hold on. Wrong version. There we go. Wait a minute. Playing the wrong key. Don't want that, do we? much fun, and you won't believe this when I tell you, but I first fell in love with this piece, again, not through playing it, but through dancing it. When I was a student here in Amsterdam, I studied at the conservatorium. I had a whole period where I was experimenting with English clog dance as a tool for contemporary music theatre and foot percussion. At some point, my mum actually said to me, "Aren't you going to spend any time playing the recorder?" Luckily, I did. I went fully recorder, as you know, with Team Recorder. But I collaborated with a lot of people dancing, and I actually played with a wonderful flute player called Thomas, who played this piece in his final exam on the flute, the Baroque flute, whilst I danced it next to him. And I'm mentioning this because Thomas is actually here tonight. So I just love experimenting with music. You can take a big, classical, important, well-known piece and be experimental with it and have some fun and try things out. And that never stops. That's one of the things I love about music. So we're going to go ahead with a big, well-known classic piece, and I'm going to be normal with it. Don't worry, there'll be no dancing. No dancing. This is by Vivaldi. It's a movement from his Winter Concerto, and this is the Largo. We have just one more piece before we take a short interval. What do I want to chat about? Well, you can ask me lots of questions in the bar, in the interval. But the next piece, I'm again going to play with Virtual Robin on our harpsichord. And it's one that you'll all definitely know. It's the Badinerie by Bach, and every time I play it, it just makes me feel really excited, really powerful, and reminds me why I love Baroque music. Thank you. It's time for a short interval. For those of you watching on the stream, we're actually going to put a movie made about this wonderful place, Splendor, in the heart of Amsterdam. It used to be a bathhouse. It used to be a hall where they would store bikes that they rented to tourists. Now it is a concert hall. So at home, you get to watch it with a cup of tea while you wait for the second half. And for the audience, I'll see you all for a chat in the bar. Thank you.
Now the good and the bad do all the work, but the best gets all the gravy. The fader you get, the worse that you feel. The worse that you feel, the longer your face. The longer your face, the sadder you look, baby. When you look sad, then your appetite's back.
Quarantine me in a greenhouse. Let the oxygen flow and observe me as the light change, as the heat makes me go backward. What a humble fermentation, such a wasted rush of blood. When I hang here from my fingers, would you turn your head out? Executed with quarantine me in a greenhouse. Let the oxygen flow and observe me as the light change, as the heat makes me go back.
Splendor is eigenlijk een clubhouse voor 50 muzici en hun geestverwanten. Als werkplaats, als bar, als laboratorium, als concertpodium.
Waar ik mijn mooiste projecten en mooiste dromen kan waarmaken.
Heel veel van de projecten waar ik nu mee bezig ben, zijn hier begonnen.
Voor mij is het een bevrijding.
Een constante bron van horizonsverbreding.
En je loopt daar binnen en je hoort allemaal spannende dingen met elektronica. En daar repeteren ze Schubert.
En improviserend muziek en oude muziek.
Dat werkt altijd zo positief. Daar komt altijd zoveel energie los.
Het in- en uitlopen van al die muzici die allemaal dingen aan het doen zijn en bezig zijn met projecten maken. Dat maakt dat het hier echt zo'n brandpunt is.
Het hart van Splendor is ook publiek. Zonder het publiek bestaat Splendor niet. Het is gewoon heel simpel.
Dus, lief publiek, word lid en steun Splendor.
Now the good and the bad do all the work, but the best gets all the gravy. The fainter you get, the worse you feel. The worse you feel, the longer your face, the longer your face. The sadder you look, baby. When you look sad, then your appetite's back.
Quarantine me in a greenhouse. Let the oxygen flow and observe me as the light change, as the heat makes me go bad. What a humble fermentation, such a wasted rush of blood. When I hang here from my fingers, would you turn your head out? Executed with Quarantine me in a greenhouse. Let the oxygen flow and observe me as the light change, as the heat makes me go mad. Executed with
everybody. When I was choosing the music for this book, I was having so much fun. And imagine my delight when I realized by transposing one single note, you can play the entirety of the Queen of the Night aria by Mozart on the recorder. Isn't that amazing? There was only one low D that I had to put up the octave, and that's it. Love it. Aside from the extremely big and famous melodies, there'll be more of those to come in this half. I wanted to bring in some more unheard works. So I started to get into the late Baroque, early classical composer Elisabetta de Gambarini. She was actually from England, had a very Italian name. And she wrote this beautiful Siciliana, and this is from her harpsichord sonata. Actually, rather controversially, this one. Rather controversially, I chose for a forte piano accompaniment rather than a harpsichord because I just think it sounds so beautiful. And now we're playing it on the piano. So it shows that with this book, if you want to use the piano, the guitar, something else, an accordion, an alpine horn, then please do go for it. I would like to say at this point, I haven't brought a surprise alpine horn, so please don't be disappointed. So here we are, the Siciliana by Elisabetta de Gambarini. recorder players are flexible people. We can play instruments of any size, from the 15th centimetre Garkline to the famous 3-metre tall subcontrabass recorder here in Amsterdam. I also don't have that here tonight, by the way. But anything on an alto, you can also play on a sopranino, should you so choose. Or on a bass. Yes. So this is a bass recorder, and in fact we refer to this one as the bassette recorder because it's the smallest of the bass family. Anne, could you please play the F below middle C? That's our lowest note. It's not very low, is it? After the bassette, you get the great bass, the contrabass, the sub-great bass, the sub-contrabass. It goes on and on and on. But this is the bassette. It's an octave lower than the alto. And I thought this would be a lovely choice for a very well-known piece, The Swan by Camille Saint-Saëns. It's so beautiful. I decided to give the readers of my book a bit of a challenge by putting 4 flats in the key signature. But that means we can play all of it on the recorder with that beautiful and we don't have to do octave jumps. I thought it would sound very silly to go it doesn't really feel the same. So we have a bit of an interesting key, but that means we get the full breadth of the melody, and that is something so special about the piece. So here we are, The Swan from Carnival of the Animals by Camille Saint-Saëns. The next piece is, again, another piece that makes its debut into the recorder repertoire. This is a song by the English composer Samuel Coleridge-Taylor. So I want to tell you a bit about him because he's very special. He was from London at the end of the 19th century. He was actually the second black student to be admitted to the Royal College of Music. And he's almost been completely forgotten because although his works were incredibly popular, incredibly well known and well played, due to the lack of copyright laws and royalty laws for musicians, he died very young at the age of 30-something in complete poverty, and his music kind of left the public knowledge. So this is why it's nice to bring it back and get to know it. A nice fact about him was that he wrote this big work called Hiawatha's Wedding Feast, and this was so popular, its yearly performance at the Royal Albert Hall in London helped financially support that concert hall for the entire year. I don't know if any of you have seen or been to the Royal Albert Hall in London. It's incredible, it's huge, and it exists still, partly thanks to Samuel Coleridge-Taylor. His entire archive of works is housed at the Library of the Royal College of Music in London, which is where I work. So we've been able to get in contact with all of his works and also with the librarians who know everything about this. So we're going to do a little demonstration for you. I'm not going to sing, it looks like I'm about to go. This song moves between 2/4 and 6/8 time. So when arranging this for recorder and preparing the recording, we were really thinking, how are we going to do the time switch? So Anne, I'm going to put you on the spot. Could you please demonstrate going from the 2/4 to the 6/8, but keeping the 8th notes the same? Yeah. This means the music goes slower. Or do we go from the 2/4 to the 6/8, keeping the half bars the same? Thank you. What would you choose actually? Who would go for the music goes slower option? The first one. Who would go for the first option? Okay, who would go for the second option? Okay, well done, you are all right. Guess who was wrong? So, with this kind of information, as a song like this, a piece like this, gets played by a new instrument for the first time, a whole new audience gets into contact with it, it's important to have these details right. So we actually went to Jonathan, who is the librarian at the Royal College of Music, and I asked a colleague of mine, Althea Talbot-Howard, you're going to hear more about her in a second, who is a scholar of his works, and they could use all the context of the day, the context of his other works, the piano part, to really say, no, it should be version 2. So, the music that you have in the book, that you have on the page, by the time it gets there, it feels very simple. Oh, there's the music, it's just there. But so much of this has to be reconstructed and thought about and researched, and you have to call your colleagues and say, what do you think, before it can get there. And it's an honor to get to do this, and I'm just one of a very, very, very long line of music editors who have made it possible for us recorder players to get to grips with all this wonderful music. So here we go. Beauty and Song by Samuel Coleridge-Taylor. just mentioned the composer Althea Talbot-Howard, who helped me with some of the musicology behind that piece, and she actually composed the next piece we're going to play. Althea is a recorder player as well as a composer. She lives in London, and she just writes the most beautiful recital music. So her aim is that we are really a duo rather than a melody and accompaniment. We're playing together as two equal halves of one whole. And the first time I heard this piece, I was completely enchanted by it. Oh, it's called Prelude, the Seafront from Valenmere, an Adventure Suite. At the final piece of the concert, but before we play that, I have so many people I need to thank. Downstairs in the studio, live streaming all of it to you, I'm trying to look for the cameras, are Hans and Zolt, who've put together the sound, the cameras, and the lighting for this. So can we give them a big round of applause? And this is all from Splendor Amsterdam, this wonderful venue and collective that I'm a part of. Just to give a little advert, and if you're not already, if you're local to Amsterdam or the Netherlands, you can consider supporting Splendor by becoming a member. It's, I believe, 120 a year. Maybe one of you can come up and introduce it. It's 120 euros a year, which works out as €10 a month, and you get to see 60 concerts for free. Which is so incredible. So we have a lot of familiar faces popping by, coming, having a cup of coffee, having a beer, seeing what's going on. And it just really means we can keep independent music running in the heart of the city, which, as we know, is so important. So thank you to Splendor for also supporting this. Thank you to Schott for publishing the book. Am I forgetting anyone? And of course, thank you to my incredible musicians, who I will welcome both back to the stage now, Anne Veinberg and Guillermo Celano. We're going to finish off with all three of us back together. This is a jazz piece by the jazz piano great Abdullah Ibrahim. It's a piece called African Song. It's a collection of different songs for piano, and this has been arranged for a recorder, because why not?